Live in the CNN newsroom. Thanks for being with me. I'm Ana Cabrera in New York, and today marks 1 week since the race was called for Joe Biden, and President Trump still refuses to concede. His supporters hit the streets of D.C. today to protest the results of an election that experts say wasn't just fair, but the most secure in U.S. history. And there he goes. That was the president. Earlier today, his motorcade slowing down as he passed this group of enthusiastic supporters on his way to his golf resort in Virginia. And some things just never change. Since day one for this administration, it has always been about the crowd size. And on day 1,394, it is still about the crowd size. The White House press secretary falsely tweeting, "More than 1 million marchers for President Donald Trump descend on the swamp in support." The reality? Thousands, yes. More than 1 million? Not so much. Definitely not. So the administration that began with a lie about the size of the inaugural crowd is coming to an end with a lie about the size of a protest crowd. But if they want to play numbers, there's always 306 versus 300 or 232. Joe Biden won this race. And CNN national correspondent Sarah Seidner is in Washington, D.C. with that crowd, people who, along with the president, are not convinced that the election is over. Also with us, CNN White House correspondent Jeremy Diamond. But first to Sarah, what are those supporters of the president telling you today?
Right here. This rally. This is a sort of a combination of a bunch of different rallies. One called the Million MAGA March. There aren't 1 million people here, but there are thousands and thousands of people here. It's starting to break up. You'll see people kind of streaming out from in front of the Supreme Court, which is where the rally sort of ended today. And their speakers are still talking, but the crowd is definitely thinning out. It has been, for the most part, peaceful. A couple of little tussles here and there, but there of the thousands and thousands of people here, the real message that we keep hearing from the speakers all day today has been that they believe that Trump should be in office for 4 more years. They do not believe that this election was free and fair. They believe the election was stolen from Donald Trump, which indeed is not true if you talk to anyone who is in an official capacity who is looking at the vote count in each and every state. But that is the general feeling. And we've talked to a lot of people, and one person that we spoke with talked about the fact that she feels like there has always been fraud in elections. I'm going to let you hear what she says. She was holding a Stop the Steal sign, which is one of the sayings that has been going on here. And she talked about how she feels about the American election process. You don't believe anyone that says that this is a free and fair election. You think
absolutely
was 2016 a free and fair election?
Not. There was probably fraud then too. This swamp has gotten.
You think that Donald Trump won legitimately?
I think that the swamp is so deep that there's probably been fraud and cheating that have gone on for decades now.
So why weren't you out here in 2016? Why weren't you out here in 2016 if you thought there was fraud when Donald Trump won?
I think that there's been some fraud in all of the elections.
And so you heard there is someone who believes that there's been fraud all the time. But then again, you know, what you do get from a lot of folks is they believe that the Republicans who won their seats in Congress were free and fair. They believe that Trump, the states that he won, were mostly free and fair. But they do not like the swing states that went for Biden. So you can see the dichotomy here. It's pretty clear that a lot of folks just are sore losers when it comes to this election. Because if you look at the numbers and you look at the number of states who have come out and said, we believe this is a free and fair election, including one of the people that Donald Trump appointed, a senior election security official, federal security official, who said he just cannot believe what he is hearing from the president, that indeed he believes a lot of that is hogwash. You are seeing a lot of folks here, though, that still believe that this was a stolen election, and they are not letting that go anytime soon. They believe, and the reason why they're here at the Supreme Court is that ultimately the Supreme Court will decide who wins this election. But come January 20th, we will be seeing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris taking over the office once these votes have been certified.
Right. This is no 2000. There's not just one state that's going to decide it all. Joe Biden won multiple states, and Donald Trump just has to deal with it and his supporters. But it's hard. Obviously, there's a lot of passionate people out there. Jeremy Diamond is at the White House. I'm wondering, Jeremy, are there any signs the president is closer to acknowledging that he lost?
Well, look, over the last week, since Joe Biden was projected the winner of this presidential race, we have seen the president privately, according to our sources, kind of waver between kind of a pugilistic attitude where he is vowing to continue to fight this until the end, seeing a possibility that he could overturn the results of the election, and also at the same time, at other moments, beginning to quietly acknowledge the fact that Joe Biden has won this race. And yesterday, we saw perhaps the first, even close to a public acknowledgement by the president that the Joe Biden presidency is at least a possibility. Listen to what the president said yesterday.
This administration will not be going to a lockdown. Hopefully the whatever happens in the future, who knows which administration will be, I guess time will tell. But I can tell you this administration will not go to a lockdown.
Now, obviously, that's not quite a concession by the president, but it is a difference from what we have heard from him previously publicly, which is to say that he has won this election.
Let me stop this for a second and say, what would the media be saying if this was President Obama? What would the members in Congress be saying if this was President Obama? So we have to understand that this is all part of white skin privilege, white male skin privilege specifically, and just deal with it. It's a fact of our society. And that certain privileges are held for certain people, and that's part of the transition that needs to happen in our country that we're working on, so that all people are treated equally in America. We're working on it. We're not there yet, but we're working on it. So words like false, instead of just saying, hey, it's a lie, need to be used. And it should have been done 5 years ago. Should have been done with the birther thing. All these things should have been done before, because now the poor American public, you have people believing that this election wasn't fair, and it was fair. And it's a shame that you have people out there who are believing misinformation. We need to make sure all Americans understand that this election was done fairly, and all elections should always be done fairly and equitably. And if Donald Trump wins, God bless him. If Joe Biden wins, God bless him. That's how the American system operates. Let's listen to some more.
As he has been tweeting repeatedly, and that it has been stolen from him. Here, at least, he is acknowledging the possibility of a potential Joe Biden administration. At the same time, though, the president's efforts in courts, they've not been going well. Even just yesterday, we saw 9 cases brought by the president or his allies denied or dropped in courts.
Well, that's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing for the president to continue to bring cases, because it keeps him busy on the cases and let him still have that hope, so that things just run smoothly. On January 20th at 12 noon, Biden becomes president. But listen, there could be some shenanigans with the Electoral College and the Republican states, if they want to. They put other electors up there. So a lot of things could happen, because we don't have a one person, one vote when it comes to president. We have the Electoral College that determines who the president is. You have to have 270 Electoral College votes, and they have to be verified by Congress. So a lot could still happen. All right, and in terms of this election, and President Trump has a chance of being reelected again. And should it go to the Congress? Hey, he's got it, because they've got 26 vote. You vote as an entire delegation. You have 26 Republican states and only 24 Democratic ones. So he'd be reelected. So there are many ways, all right, for him to still become reelected. Hey, if it happens, that's part of our American system. That's how it operates. Okay, you don't like the system, then put an amendment up there and see if you can change it. You get rid of the Electoral College. Until then, this is how it is in America, and we follow our Constitution. I'll play a little more.
Across the country in several key battleground states. And we should also note that as all of this is going on, as the president is denying this reality, he is also mostly ignoring the reality of a surge in coronavirus cases across the country. Yesterday, we saw the president talking about Operation Warp Speed, but he hasn't been talking about what Americans should be doing now as we are seeing this surge in cases. Instead, the president once again falsely claiming that the surge in cases across the country, what has really been an explosion over this past week, that it is due to increased testing in the United States, which is, of course, not true. Anna?
No, we're seeing positivity rates skyrocket above 58% in places like South Dakota, with 184,000 new cases of coronavirus in the U.S. yesterday. Thank you very much, Jeremy Diamond. Joining us now is former White House Communications Director under President Trump.
Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. Have a great day.